So it's a sad day for all Indians that one of India's most important public policy makers has passed away. Dr. Manmohan Singh is an architect of modern India in many ways. As finance minister, we all know that he opened up our economy, he ushered in reforms. But then, even as prime minister, he was responsible for many policy changes which are bearing fruit now. For example, in the arena of diplomacy, he was crucial in steering the India-US nuclear accord, which opened up for us not only nuclear trade and commerce, but high-tech trade and commerce. And we are now great beneficiaries of that. I was fortunate in being able to serve him during 2012 to 2014 when he was Prime Minister. And to me, he was always appeared as a very kind, benevolent, and gracious person, but intellectually very sharp. I've been in many conference rooms or meeting rooms with him, and he clearly used to come out as the sharpest person, who would master his brief, who would know many more details than any of the civil servants in that room. So it's, of course, been an honor to work with him and a privilege. And we are all Indians are beneficiaries of Dr. Manmohan Singh's policies and his acumen, but also his kindness and graciousness. So it's a sad day for all Indians that we've lost architect of modern India who had contributed so much for our for our growth as a nation. And as we go towards Viksit Bharat, which Prime Minister Modi has targeted for us, Shri Manmohan Singh's contribution to that will always be remembered. So in the economic arena, we were a closed economy. He opened up the economy for us in multiple fronts, but later on, he understood the importance of technology. Therefore, even in the nuclear deal, there was a technology denial regime which he helped. And he actually initiated the process of the UIDAI and the Aadhaar card. Today, you can see how digital India has done so well because following the initiation by Dr. Manmohan Singh, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has taken it to the next level. So he built the foundation on which the infrastructure of modern digital India is there. So every Indian who uses a smartphone or even otherwise uses the UPI owes him a debt of gratitude. So Dr. Manmohan Singh had a very unusual way of starting meetings. Whenever we used to go to a foreign country for discussion about various issues with their leaders, he would always start the meeting by saying, "So, why have you brought me here? Please explain." And then he would provoke us to give the reasons that this visit was important for. And always he would start, "So, why have you come here? Please explain to me." And then always I would remember that starting point. And what happens was, most of us civil servants used to work for 2 to 3 years in any job, or maximum 4 years. But Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, by the time I started working with him, had worked for 7, 8 years. And so he knew more than all of us. But he would just ask us. And then he would, after we've given our view, he would say, "But when I met XYZ in 2007, and I started working in 2012, there's nobody in the room who knows what happened in 2007. So he brought in a stability of a leader who knew the past and could plan for the future. Most civil servants, we stay for 2, 3, 4 years in a job, so we don't have that depth of knowledge that a stable, long-term prime minister has. So India has been fortunate that we've had 2 consecutive prime ministers who have been providing us stable leadership for long times. Started with Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and his 2 terms. Now we have Prime Minister Narendra Modi with 3 terms. So stable leadership plays a role much more influential than what we call the career civil servants, because they have a better idea of issues staying longer.
So final question, what would you say that one thought or decision that he has made which was very unique and which has greatly influenced India's foreign policy?
So I think from a foreign policy angle, the one change that he brought was the India-US nuclear deal, because he virtually staked his government there. Not many people stake governments on foreign policy issues. You stake it on big economic issues, big social issues. Prime Minister Manmohan Singh understood that in a globalized world, our engagement with the US has to be free of high-tech regulations. And he used the nuclear deal to allow India to liberate itself from the restrictions that the rest of the world posed in technology. And that has led to a multiplicity, not only in the nuclear field, but in the digital field, but in other areas, now in what we call the critical technologies area. So from a foreign policy angle, he shifted India's focus from the 20th century to what would be the challenges of the 21st century in technology. And for that, because it succeeded and because the whole of India supported him, it engendered an amount of self-confidence in Indians and in diplomats, which is still rubbing off on all our young people. So that one decision has a long-term effect, not only in terms of engagement with it, but the morale of the personnel, the general belief that we could do it, we could overcome obstacles. And today, India is a different country, thanks to some of those decisions that Prime Minister Manmohan Singh took.